Hello, everybody, and welcome to the North and Nerd podcast, episode number 4. It is, June 1st, 2nd? I don't even know anymore. I'm on vacation, so
Third.
The 3rd? Sure. Why not?
Friday.
All I know is that it's a Friday, and I have about 7 more days, or 6 more days off before I have to go to work ever. So, I'm enjoying myself, so days of the week don't really matter to me.
You've enjoyed it?
I've
played a lot of games?
Thoroughly enjoyed my time off. This weekend, spent actually in Toronto. We ran the Warrior Dash. Well, Corey and Chrissy ran the Warrior Dash. Me and Alex walked the Warrior Dash and did the obstacles. It was just, neither of us had trained for it basically, and it was 34 degrees when we got out of the car.
Yeah.
Without the Humidex.
I thought that was so funny that they moved it earlier in the year.
Right?
So it'd be
we ran it last
quote unquote cooler.
Yeah, because we ran it last year in July.
It was 40 anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah, last year was bad.
It was bad. Like, we ran it at 12. Well, we ran it basically at the same time. Even though our heats were at 2, we still ran it at 12:30 kind of idea. Yeah. So there was that, but it was
so humid last year that I was staying hydrated by osmosis. I didn't drink a drop of water.
It went through your body. Yeah, this year was the same thing. It was exceptionally hot. The course was a lot different. There was less hills and woodsy areas and trails. Yeah. So we were actually probably more in the sun this time than we were the last time. So that really sucked. But yeah, and then we caught a Blue Jays game on Sunday, and we just basically drank we all drank a good portion of
Drink water?
No. Oh no. There was a lot of alcohol consumed over those 2 days after the dash.
And then you bought Overwatch.
And then I came home. Yeah. So you want to explain to us what we're playing here in the background first, Travis, just for...
It's probably the best indie game ever conceived.
Okay.
I say
that's pretty high praise.
Yep. It's a throwback to the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, brawler-style arcade 4-player. And Castle Crashers.
Castle Crashers. It's
came out in 2008, and we're playing on an Xbox One, the remastered free download that they gave us for people
for actually purchasing
who owned it. You can buy it too, but if you owned
the original
360 version, yeah, you got this for free for a week or something.
Okay, so there's a window
naturally
of...
I jumped on it.
Well, yeah.
You are rocking the Necromancer.
Apparently.
Yeah, you've never...
This is as pure of an initiation as I could be to this game.
I remember when Mike was thinking about... I don't know where...
Hey, you got I got an
I was trying to convince you guys to buy this on PS3.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
A couple years, 2 years ago.
Yeah. And it just, yeah.
And you never did.
So. We weren't, I don't know, yeah. I think it had everything to do with the fact that, back then, we were basically working competing schedules.
Yeah.
So there wasn't as much, and now added Mike to the list now that we've actually started gaming together, I think.
Mike thinks he's a gamer, but he's not.
Nah, he tries.
So, yeah, Castle Crashers came out at, the height of the XBLA time. And I think really opened those doors for
the indie scene
kind of indie scene that, is saving gaming right now.
And it really is. Look at any of our have you not plays, right?
It's mostly all indie stuff.
It's all indie stuff, right? And I think it's not by design on our part, per se. But I think it goes to show that you can still make... it goes back to that conversation we had about PlayStation Plus 2 podcasts ago, right? It's just because it's quote-unquote indie does not make it not good. It's as simple as that. And this, like you say, earlier than even PlayStation Plus days, it's rung true, right?
So this is a game I've been wanting to play co-op with someone for a while. I figured we'll make a podcast out of it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't bought this game, then Shovel Knight, you should
definitely
take a look in the mirror, a hard look, figure out what you're doing with yourself.
Is that going to be your go-to catchphrase from here on in as far as your persona of this website?
If people don't like the games I like, then just get yourself checked out.
That's it. That's all. There's no two buts about it. Oh wait, what? Oh cool. I got a shovel.
Yeah, when you switch the right.
Okay,
but Eric is not an Xbox gamer, so the controller has him confounded right now.
I did have a 360 for a while. Don't get me wrong, but this is absolutely foreign to me at this point. So it's gonna if you're gonna see me pausing and all of a sudden a bunch of buttons, you're gonna see a bunch of random stuff on the screen. That's probably me.
If it auto suddenly snaps to Netflix or something,
that'll probably be my doing. So you kind of hinted at it already. It's going to go against basically a lot of things the one major point of what I said in the last podcast, but I bought Overwatch. I broke down,
and you're gonna force me and Mike to know.
I know. No. That's the thing.
I'm playing the birthday card. Like,
if whoever wants to buy for me, go ahead. Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, if you listen to the last podcast and you've had a conversation with me in the last 2 weeks, you know that I've been super hyped on it. But the only problem was the price point for me.
And you scammed the system.
What system? The digital system?
You did.
Well,
you didn't pay tax.
Well, exactly, right? And so it goes maybe back to harkening back to podcast number 3 again.
It's okay, I've already emailed our MP to say that you're a tax evader.
Good, thanks. So the CRA is going to come knocking at my door at some point while doing the census at the same time.
If you, I keep getting calls about that.
You should probably fill it out then.
We did it.
All right then. Just making sure. So, yeah, like you say, like, call it scamming the system, call it tax evasion if you want, but the idea. So I guess it goes, like I said, it goes back to our conversation about. It goes back to our conversation about where we don't buy digital because that's why. Okay, because there's no major discount. But then when I bought Overwatch, I realized, wait a minute, they don't charge us tax. So is that the discount for us Canadians, anyways? In a way,
I don't know.
Like I say, like it is.
I feel like the taxes should be paid.
They should be. They totally should be, and they're actually apparently supposed to be like declared. But I mean that's I think that's actually a bigger issue in the tax law for digital right now because of Amazon, because of Steam, because of all that. I think that's actually becoming a bit more to the forefront and how it should be treated. And I think it's a digital good. Yeah, maybe there should be taxes paid, but maybe that's the kind of like the go-between.
Taxcast.
There you go.
Anyways,
tax law.
You bought Overwatch.
Anyways, yeah, back to what I was getting at.
Grab those bananas.
Will do. It's like I say, I was super hyped on it. Price point was an issue. I said, to hell with it. I think I had $10-15 stored in my PlayStation account anyway. So without tax, it basically came out to a $59.99 game. Sweet. At the end of the day. So, like, old school Canadian prices. So, at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I almost created a weird Stockholm syndrome, I think, with this game for myself, because I've been listening to the Giant Bombcast and the Giant Beastcast.
We have to fight each other for the girl.
Well...
I pummeled you. I win. Okay.
And I, like, listening to the Giant Bombcast for 2 weeks in a row, like, over and over again, because of the trip to Toronto, I put it on in the car while I was sleeping while on the drive. So, I probably listened to the same 3-4 podcasts like 3-4 times, and it was just constant doom and Overwatch. Yeah. So you know what I mean? I think I created this thing in my head where I was like, yeah, I can justify this. You know what I mean? So was it last night? 2 nights ago, I bought it, and I think I've already poured 6 hours into it, playing, and it's even better than yeah, sure, why not? And I feel like that game from beta to now is still just as good. It does so many things well. It's lighthearted. It's serious to a point where, like, if we're playing a team game, please pay attention. But at the end of the day, you can still kind of skew to the COD side of Lone Wolf style, even though it's a team game. You can still skew to that side without any major repercussions. The class system doesn't... it'll tell you, like, hey, you don't have a support class, you may want to consider one, but you don't have to. And maybe there is a difference there because I don't play with my headset on, unless it was you and Mike playing with me, or whomever else is listening to this and has Overwatch and wants to add me, Eric Goss 7, you know what I mean? If you guys want to add me and then we can play together, sure, but I'm not going to be playing with complete randos.
Yeah.
On a headset, because all I'm going to get is people yelling at me because I'm not playing the healer right, even though in my head I'm healing people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm doing my job to an extent. Now, yes, is there perhaps some intricacies of, like, yeah, should I be healing the tank or the sniper or whatever? Yeah, you can make the argument that maybe there's some nuance there that I don't have, but I have gotten top voted player of the game by playing a healer.
Yeah.
After a loss.
Do the other players vote for you?
Yes, all the players who played, all 10 members of get a vote.
Oh, nice.
And it gives you top 4 for whatever reason.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, it's not even kill streak. A lot of time, it's not at all. One thing I will say to piggyback on that is the play of the game will usually be a pretty big kill streak.
Oh, there's your goat.
Hey, I gotta go.
You gotta go and touch him.
Give me my goat. Wait, which is X? It highlights positives.
Okay.
It doesn't do negative. It'll tell you how many times you died.
Yeah.
But there is no kill death ratio.
Okay.
There's no. It's how many points of damage did you do? How many healing points did you do? How many eliminations did you do?
So it's like a performance, like...
It is purely like comparative statistic performance on your own.
Okay.
So going back to the end game, once you finish the match, it'll give you highlight four performances that are deemed well.
That's
whether
funny. I gotta do that. I gotta give you CPR.
Okay. It highlights 4 performances, whether it's healer, whether it's kill streaks, whether it's the number of eliminations or solo kills even, without like unassisted kills. Or it'll do like a Reinhardt who has the shield.
Yeah.
It'll be like amount of damage blocked. So it really highlights like the benefit of playing a team game. And I'm not on the screen anymore, am I?
Yeah, I think you're dead.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Oh, there I am. So it and like I said, like even in a losing match, I've been voted best player as playing as a healer. By my peers, kind of idea.
Voted as by my
right?
peers.
Yeah, exactly. But that's important. And I've actually started getting mad. Not mad. Like almost like a sense of like disappointment that I didn't get more votes on certain matches when playing like a tank, like a damage blocker. Like, how can you not see that I did well here?
Yeah.
Kind of idea. Especially when it goes to a guy who had the most damage. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on. Like, I did well here. Give me something. And you see how many players vote for how many guys.
Yeah.
All 10 people. You'll see the amount of votes per 4 guys. So it's really neat. And I think that's...
You level up by moving the stick over with what you want.
All the damage. And I think that's the cool part about it. Is you may not be completely proficient in one thing, but you can help the team regardless. There's not too many game modes that complicate things. Mm-hmm. It's a payload where you just escort like a truck. Team Fortress 2 players will be very familiar with that gimmick apparently. And then there's like capture points. But and no match lasts any more than 20 minutes at most. Mm-hmm. And the load times. I mean, we're used to Destiny load times, so I guess that's like relatively speaking. But it's like, you're gonna find estimated time to find a match 17 seconds. Most of the time, after 5 seconds, I'm in a match. It's amazing. Like, I'm not waiting at all. And even if people drop in the like character select screen, it finds, just like Rocket League, it finds people like immediately. It's so well done. It is absolutely so well done. It's but gameplay wise, it's fun to play as different classes. Like I've caught myself sometimes again getting not mad, not frustrated, but like just annoyed by like being a healer and not having the people I'm healing play like to what I think they should be doing.
Right.
And that's the one criticism I think that game has that I think will be that is completely fair is that once it gets ultra competitive, what happens then to the game, to like the public players who play with a bunch of randos? Yeah. When you play a team that is like completely constituted of like guys who know each other who are talking on mics, what happens? I think the difference there is that the reason I think I ended up buying it, like the one decision, the decision that I think helped the news. How do I say this? The news that came out that I think pushed me to buy this game is that there's a competitive mode coming at the end of the month.
Yeah, you were saying that.
So I won't be playing with the freaking esports propers, like I won't be playing those guys. I'll be playing a bunch of other pub players. And that is super enticing. Right? Like that was the one thing that I was scared about. Like Jeff Gerstmann said the same thing, right? Like that's what's going to turn him off this game is going to be that idea of scared of playing against all the pros all the time.
Yeah.
But now that they've added this, you want to go play pro? You want to go play super competitive? Go. Let the pub players have their fun and have their shoot-ups and, you know what I mean? Have their shoot-ups and have their fun and play as all Reapers or all Widowmakers or whatever, and let's just have fun with it.
Yeah.
The other thing is, you saw it in the beta, the random weekly game mode. During the beta, it was random character.
Yeah.
Every time you spawn, it's random character. This week, it's Genji and forgive me, I can't remember the robotic ninja name, but I think I haven't played it yet. But I gather that it's like a like them versus them mode.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I think the first week of launch was similar to the Destiny superpower one, where the cooldowns were like small and
like the mayhem mode.
Yeah, exactly. It was that for the release week. So I think there's legs on that front as well. In that there's always going to be something different if you don't want to play just a regular match, as well. So there.
Hammer of Soul.
Oh god, the Hammer of Soul. Oh, that couldn't have gotten nerfed any freaking quicker.
Quit whining, Warlock boy.
Hey, Warlock was
Titan
awesome
for the win, man. That was the best class.
You didn't even use the bubble most of the time, did you?
No, for a while until they nerfed Hammer of Soul.
Exactly, until they nerfed the Hammer of Soul, yeah.
And then I used the bubble when I was I finally got that helmet that blinds them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You were a shotgun machine back then. And so I think that's gonna. I really think this game's gonna have legs, and I've never been super optimistic when it comes to shooters, kind of idea. So it's not like a thing about where I feel a specific way about something. I feel like there's something to this game for some reason, and it seems like critically acclaimedness of it as well. That it seems like everybody seems to think that this game has legs. So why wouldn't I seem to think so? I don't know any better, right? So if other people are saying it, why not?
To be honest, it seems pretty bare bones to me.
But I feel like in a positive way.
And I say that I've been wanting to play a shooter recently, and I uninstalled Destiny, so I didn't fire that back up. So I was playing Halo 5 a little bit. Okay. I feel like I didn't give it its fair shake for the online mode.
Okay, gotcha. Which has always been a strength of Halo's, right?
It's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And so I've been playing that, and I find it's just compared to past Halos.
Okay.
In past Halos, you had on foot, you had your different types of guns, and with that, you had different play styles. Some people preferred to just dual wield versus
the typical loadout choices stuff, right? Yeah.
And then vehicle combat and power weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
With Halo 5, I find it's just...
Oh, that's right. That's the big map. There's the big map versions and stuff, right?
Yeah, so I feel like it's just, way too busy.
Okay.
So, your character can now climb over stuff. Which is fine. You can run and you jump towards a ledge, and even if you're not going to make it, you hit A again, and he'll clamber up the
Oh, so he has,
the ledge.
Okay.
And
Nathan Drake, Master Chief now, or
Yeah, really. And if you're in the air and you pull to aim down the iron sights,
okay,
it'll stop you in the air. You'll hover for a second or two.
Okay, gotcha.
And you can shoot, and I find that really jarring.
It's not
because I'm more used to if I'm jumping off a thing.
Kitty cat.
If I'm jumping off a thing, and my anticipation is I can aim and shoot while I'm falling because of my experience with past Halo.
Yes, exactly.
This time it's just I'm stopped in the air, and it
just
throws me off.
But so did they not have that in ODST?
No.
With the jetpacks and stuff? That gimmick wasn't even there
for
that?
In Reach you had you had a power up that was a jetpack, but it wasn't full on stop you in the air.
Oh, that's what I mean. Okay, so that mechanic is still technically new, kind of idea.
Yeah, with the jetpack and Reach, you could reach areas of the map that might otherwise give you an advantage, with a sniper rifle or something.
Gotcha.
And so,
okay.
While you're in the air too, if you hit the melee button, it'll put a target on the ground, and you can ground pound people.
Oh.
And I rarely use that, let alone think of
using it. Exactly. Yeah, that's on top of that, right? Yeah.
And just the whole time you're in the air, I find you're just super vulnerable, and
it's like the Warlock in Destiny.
Yeah.
Damn. Destiny.
And so I might pick up Overwatch because it's simpler, but I don't know why it's getting so much acclaim.
I think it's because it's different.
I guess.
I think because I don't want to call it new. Like, don't get me wrong. Blizzard has not innovated anything here. The shooting's tight enough where it's fun. It's not Destiny good, kind of idea. But it's...
There's going to be obstacles, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there it is. But it's pick up and play. I think that's what the appeal is right now, because we don't have it's not COD where you have loadouts to think of and yada yada yada. It's just you play it.
Yeah, I like that it's a shooter and that it's doing the MOBA thing where like you have to play your role. Like if you
and that's the thing. To an extent, it doesn't.
That's kind of like a game like I've been looking forward to. But
that's failing again. Yeah,
it's tough.
No, I think that's where I can appreciate the potential indifference, not necessarily hate on Overwatch, but the indifference towards it, is that there is no progression, right? Yeah. It's not you're earning XP to level up yourself to get a new loot box every level. That's it.
Do you get new weapons in those?
No, it's just skins. It's skins. It's sprays. It's sprays, which are just literally like spray cans that you spray a different picture on the wall. It's neat. Don't get me wrong. It's neat. New voice lines for each character. There's 55 of those things per character.
Okay.
So
I think I would prefer weapons, to be honest.
I agree.
Like Destiny style.
Yes, and that's where I think I can not, I guess sympathize is not the right word, but I could totally see that side of the argument when it comes to Overwatch, is that there's zero progression.
I think that's exactly what's gonna do the game in.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that there's something there that needs to be potentially addressed. But
Jump on that log.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. Yeah.
Watch the shark.
This is the sewer level with
pretty much
on Turtles in Time.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. Sorry, I'm so in awe right now. But with that said, Blizzard being Blizzard, they're gonna support the crap out of this game, like they have with every one of their games. And every new character and every new map is free.
Okay.
So
have they said that?
Yes, they have. They have actually said that out loud. It's not just an assumption thing, kind of idea.
So they've said it out loud to themselves, like.
just in their own boardroom. That's about it. They've actually said it out loud for public consumption that's the case.
Okay.
So
that's good then.
I think that was the second part of the news that went that kind of perked me up and said,
they're really not going to charge people. Like, I'm not saying that they should, but it seems out of character for.
Well, no, because really, when you think about it, like Blizzard is more of a patch company than it is a major expansion. WoW aside.
You're right.
Right. And WoW aside, like they'll patch before they release that second expansion, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's all gonna come from. Is that kind of style of that we're gonna add characters, we're gonna add maps, we're gonna probably potentially add game modes. I don't know about that. I'd assume they would, because it would get potentially slightly stale at some point. But yeah, and no match, especially even if playing like in the same group of 10 people. Like over and over and over again, it doesn't feel stale. Like playing that same mode over and over, it doesn't feel stale for some reason. Because people try different characters. People, like when I start getting frustrated, I do the really dumb thing. Instead of sticking with the one character and like fighting through it, I'll switch between characters 8 times because it's not working, I'll switch.
You can switch on the fly, eh?
If you die, when you go back to home, like your home base area, that's when you can switch. Or like even when you start the match, there's like a very MOBA style of like coordination time where you have like I think it's like 45 seconds or something like that, where you can switch 8 times over before the match starts, kind of.
Okay.
So yeah, but death, or you can run back mid level and switch your character if you'd want. But probably death is probably the better option there, and just quick travel to back to home base kind of idea to switch. But yes, you can in theory switch on the fly. Yeah. And that's another thing. Like if something's just not working, like, or if I notice that we're like 2 Reapers, 2 Widowmakers, so it's basically like combat shotgun and sniper.
Yeah.
Like we're 4 of those people, and Soldier 76, who's like just your assault rifle type.
Yeah.
We have no healers and no tanks.
You switch
over. You die once, switch over, and see if we can change the momentum kind of idea.
Overwatch it's not Battleborn, right? Or do they both do it where they say like your team's not balanced properly?
No, I haven't. In the time that I've played, nothing happens.
Okay.
Nothing changes because I think it puts the onus on the group to like figure that out. Like, because like I've lost matches in 5 minutes.
Right.
Because we've just been doing dumb stuff or being overmatched. So at least there's that. Right? Like, it doesn't kick you out for just being bad. I was inactive at one point and it literally kicked me out like Rocket League. If you just sit there, I think for like 15 seconds, it'll say, hey, you're inactive, get out.
So if you rage quit it doesn't let you back into it. I know Battleborn did it.
Yeah, I haven't tested that out yet. It's probably something I should, but I'd assume that there's probably something there. It seems very smart in how it handles itself as far as its like matchmaking and online stuff. But yeah, I'll probably post a video at some point this week about it. So I'm gonna stop gushing about it now, and where I can talk a bit more specifically about certain specific things about it, kind of idea. And combo. And yeah, so I'm enjoying myself. It's happening. It happened. I was always gonna get it. It was just a matter of when and if, and it kind of just happened. But you, sir, have kind of, like, as much as your praise for it and last week was amazing.
I've gone the other way.
You've continued with Doom.
Continue with Doom.
Yeah. So how, like, is it still really that good? Like, everybody's praising the hell out of it. So I'm assuming, like, the single player that is. So I'm assuming it has to be that good. But what about your perception of it? Like,
it is that good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah.
So from a guy who's knows what Doom is, has played it like sparingly, like half an hour at a buddy's place on his PC when I was a kid because I never really played it. Would I lose anything out of it? Not.
Have you played it before? No. It's like as far as shooters go, like it's really, really tight. And I find that the sensitivity, like the look sensitivity, I'm playing on a PS4.
Yeah.
And I find that it's feels like I'm playing with a mouse in the
Gotcha.
keyboard. Like it's really smooth, the frame rate's really good, and it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big thing.
And that's what people like, aside from the whole like, oh my god, they actually made a good Doom again.
Yeah.
Like factor, like that's what I hear is that it's just an amazing game. Like the mechanics, the way you get health back, the way you get ammo, the things it forces you to do. Because it's not a COD. You don't get to just hide behind a corner somewhere and let your health regenerate. You have to do something to get health back.
Yeah, you can pick up armor and health packs, like the games of yore.
Exactly.
And, there's no regenerating health. Weapons, you don't have to waste time reloading. And I know some people have said, or I think the developers have said, that they did that on purpose because they don't want to interrupt the flow of
exactly, because it's a quick game, right? It's supposed to be that way.
It's quick, yeah, and everything about like killing the demons and everything is quick.
And deliberate all at the same time.
Yeah, and I'm near the end.
Okay.
I just got the BFG 9000, which if you've played Doom, it was like...
Or at least familiar enough with the...
Familiar enough. It's like the ultimate gun to get. It just clears rooms of demons and no, it's fun. And they threw in like little extras, like you find secrets and then you can play as Doom guy from 2016 Doom. You can play original Doom levels.
They did not. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, that's neat. It's really neat.
Well, they did that with Wolfenstein too, right? They had the whole 8-bit level. Yeah.
Like old school, like
exactly
2.5D shooter.
Yeah, that's neat. There's from what I gathered, like there's so much reverence for the old stuff, all while still making it new.
Yeah,
kind of idea. And I think it was the Giant Bomb Bombcast this week, this last week's episode, or this week's episode. We're on Friday, yeah. Where I think Dan Reichert said like, what a day and age we live in where id and Blizzard have the two best games out right now.
Yeah.
Like, what are we, back in 95?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how weird is that?
Well, I think it's pretty telling, like...
that EA and Activision need to get their shit together.
Yeah.
Basically. Or Ubisoft, if you want to... Let's throw Ubisoft in there, definitely.
Well, I think the day and age has come and gone where you can't just put out
a game for the sake of it
being a AAA quote unquote game like an Assassin's Creed, and you can expect it to
just sell and do
really awesome. Yeah. Like to me, a game like Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or any of those yearly release titles, they're not even critically relevant anymore.
No,
like it's not like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Like, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate.
Why would I ever bother reviewing the game or watching a review on it?
Guess what? It takes place in space and it's a COD.
Surprise! It's Call of Duty. More
like,
the same.
Yeah.
Whereas like Doom, you just don't. I don't think people knew exactly what they were getting into. Like I know Doom 3 didn't do the best, and we're really bad at this level.
Yeah, I know. We really should probably go downward.
Alarm is going off for some reason.
Was it afternoon shift wake up time?
Yeah. So yeah, like I don't know. It's refreshing to play Doom and see just the quality that they put into the game, and it has enough of. It's a perfect blend of like a nostalgia romp and new gameplay. I say that with a grain of salt because I mean it's a shooter.
Yeah, but like the glory kills.
I'm having a hard time articulating what I'm trying to say, but the game is really really awesome, and it's refreshing to play it.
Exactly, and that seems again,
versus like
another.
Like this story is so minimal in Doom.
But you can argue that it is in COD too, but yet, you know.
But the problem with that is COD takes itself too seriously, and Doom is not taking itself seriously at all. Like, your whole story premise and mission, I just wished them all dead.
Apparently. You want to revive me there from back there?
I don't know if I can.
Oh, I'm that kind of dead, eh? Yeah, alright, cool. Keep talking.
So, I get my giraffe back here.
That's a giraffe?
Yeah.
Okay.
You level up faster with him.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Walked right into that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, Doom, like, definitely a worthy purchase. Like, I'm glad I bought it. I was on the fence a little bit, but, I mean, enough people had said, like, good things. We're just going to go.
Yeah, exactly. And I think your initial trepidation, or whatever you want to call it, hesitation, however you want to refer it to, comes from the multiplayer beta. Everybody shat on that thing.
Yeah, I haven't played the final product
Yeah.
multiplayer. What I've heard is it's very, very much like...
Halo? Or it tries to be anyways?
Yeah. We'll go here.
Sure. Yeah, so... And
like old school Halo, like very bare bones.
Ooh, I reward the relics, we can...
Oh, we need those relics. All right.
Oh,
so we can't do the dock.
Hooray! All right. Lead the way, John. Yeah. And like you say, like your love for Doom...
I'm going to change my guy.
Your love for Doom doesn't come from a place of nostalgia. It comes from an actual place of, like, this is a good game. And I think that's an important highlight there. Is that if you've played Doom before, you'll appreciate maybe a few more extra things. But if you're brand new into Doom, i.e. me... You're not lost. It doesn't mean anything. Just go and play it, kind of idea.
I think even you would... sorry, you were supposed to pick your...
No, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
I think you can just join. My second alarm in case you don't wake up.
In the event that you don't wake up the first time.
Final Fantasy VII battle music.
Actually, that might come up later on. You might have to get out, yeah. Let's try that again, shall we? Yeah. And
yeah, you might like it. I mean, even Alex, I know she's like shooters in the past. She might like it.
Yeah, I just don't know if Doom is too quick of a shooter. Like, because I think even Halo might be too quick of a shooter, where she like the deliberateness of COD.
Yeah.
Kind of where you can hide in a corner and like wait it out until you figure out what you need to do.
On the easiest difficulty, though, you might be able to.
That's fair. That's a good point, yeah. As we select...
Your Necromancer.
Yeah, I guess I might as well pick the same. Well, it didn't
Back to level 1.
Yeah, it didn't save. So let's take Stinky Guy.
His magic is poison.
Sweet. Okay. I like it.
Or farts.
Or farts. Well, let's say farts because it's funnier that way. So other than Doom and Overwatch,
I don't know. What are you looking forward to for E3?
That's
E3 cast.
Yeah, because this is basically going to be the rest of it here. Is our kind of, because I don't know if we'll get one in before June 13th when it starts. I think 11th or something like that.
We might.
I
start holidays soon.
Oh, nice, perfect. That's right. Yeah, that's right. So actually, yeah. So it'll be. We'll have to see how we timing wise. So we might as well figure to kind of throw it out now. I'm not. Unless they surprise, like unless they're holding out on a lot of stuff for their press conference, like each company's press conferences, I'm not expecting a lot this year. You know what I mean? Like usually we have an idea of what's coming. Like you'll have your stables of like you have your big companies that will announce their stuff, but like usually we have an idea of like even upcoming stuff that maybe has not been announced yet, you'll have an inkling of.
Yeah.
This year, I feel like either the companies are playing their cards super close to the vest here, and we're not privy to any leaks this time around, or they are truly have nothing to offer.
I feel like I've gone too far.
Too progressive.
For your level 1, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll go back here. Sorry, people who are actually interested in this 8-year-old gameplay.
Hey, put me in Turtles in Time, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, Microsoft, I don't know, other than them pushing the PC stuff and that integration between Windows 10 and Xbox and yada, 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 and announcing the major price cut, and...
I don't know, I feel like Microsoft's got some stuff up their sleeve.
But that's my point, is that it's up their sleeve, so I don't know
why.
That's exactly what I'm getting at, right? What is it that all these companies have to offer? Because I don't... Usually I have a pretty good idea every year.
Well, I'm excited for Titanfall 2.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was not that good, or it didn't have a player base. Like, I'm not sure what to take of it.
I feel like they rushed
Okay.
the first Titanfall to have something new on a new console.
Like as a release title?
Yeah, I think you're going to really see them go all out with Titanfall 2.
Gotcha.
Especially because it's going to not be Xbox exclusive anymore.
True enough.
It's coming to PS4 as well.
That's actually exciting, yeah.
I think you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I hope they do a lot more in terms of like customizing your guy and loadouts and stuff like that. Because there was like 8 to 10 different guns, and then like you could level them up, kind of.
Okay. But not to the extent where like you would expect from old Infinity Ward guys to have that kind of breadth.
Yeah, like
right?
You couldn't really change the scopes on them. You could, but I'm having a hard time remembering what exactly you could do to the guns.
That's how memorable it was, yeah.
And like your Titan loadouts, it was more like abilities that you could.
Okay.
So like you could change it so your Titan could deploy like a gas. So if there was an enemy pilot on your Titan trying to like do damage,
it would release.
You could like I would like take a knee and like release the gas, and it would 9 times out of 10 kill whoever was trying to like hijack me out of my Titan.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, and that's the thing, right? Like it's got this mech ability that I feel like it fell flat on to an extent.
Yeah, and I want there to be more than 3 Titans. Like you had your heavy Titan, the ogre, and then you had like the well-rounded balanced Atlas, and then like the super skinny but weak.
The Donkey Kong, Mario, and Yoshi of Mario Kart World style.
So I hope that there's more Titans that you can unlock.
Yeah.
Apparently they're adding like swords.
Okay. Like for the Titans or for the guy the players?
For the Titans.
Neat.
I think, unless the players get it. Like from the teaser trailer that they showed, it shows the Titan with a giant like battle sword.
Gotcha. Okay.
Dealio.
Megatron with a sword, kind of.
Yeah.
For all
yeah, no. Like I'm excited for Titanfall 2.
Okay. So that's that. I think that's one that like.
Like there's a ton of games I'm excited.
Oh no,
for,
no,
but
no!
in terms of like a game that was an exclusive on like. Unless you and Mike both buy Titanfall 2 for PS4, I'll probably stick.
You're gonna stick with it on Xbox, right? Exactly, yeah. And it's just because like Titanfall, I don't even know because I mentioned in the last podcast, I had pre-written my E3 article that week of the podcast number 3. So I don't even know if I'm looking over. Yeah, okay, I did mention Titanfall too, but like I literally mentioned it in passing because to me specifically, Titanfall doesn't register because I didn't have an Xbox One. I never played it, so to me it's just like from what I gather, it failed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So who cares? However, speaking of Microsoft and old, that's too close. Crackdown.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. If there's one game that's gonna make me buy an Xbox One, Sunset Overdrive was almost that game until I temptation finally subsided and I finally understood that I'm glad I waited.
I have $75 off.
I heard you've been telling me that, and unfortunately that's just I can't justify that purchase at this very moment. Talk to me in a year when you still have it maybe, but I know you'll have it then. Yeah, well exactly right. So by all means use it on whatever. Pre-order a game for all I care.
You can't. You use it on a console purchase.
Oh, that's all it is?
That's all it is. That's why I keep telling you and Mike.
Okay, see, I thought it was just like 75 Xbox bucks.
No.
Or whatever. Conversion of Stanley nickels.
It's basically like they're giving... So it went by gamer score. So if you had less than X amount of gamer score...
You weren't getting...
You got like $15.
Yeah.
And then like this to this, X to Y was...
Man, I'm getting bounced down here. Sorry.
$25.
Yeah, they had ranges, right?
Y to Z was... the 75, and I met the 75.
Okay, gotcha.
My pitiful gamer score.
Hey, got you $75 out of it.
That I can't use. So, anyways.
Which is a bit, and that's the thing. I mean, I get why. It makes complete sense once you understand that they're most likely announcing a slim version of the Xbox One at this E3. Like, literally a condensed one where it is going to be for gamers and not to watch your TV on. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, well,
right?
The thing is, too, with like
where's this guy going?
Control panel.
Of course.
So, like, for people like me, who I think we gotta get out of here. I hope we're going the right way. So, like, they gave me $75.
Yeah.
To give to a friend to buy an Xbox.
It is the true referral program to an nth degree, right?
To increase the install base.
Exactly.
That's what that.
Oh, that totally on the old stock, because it's not. Because if it expires before the new Slims come out, that's the way of getting rid of their old stock as well,
I hadn't considered that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, so, and they're announcing a new console just like they did with the Elite. Like, that's all it is. It's just, or the Xbox 360S or whatever you want. It's just a slim version of, or like the PS3 Slim specifically. It's just a slim down version so it doesn't look as gigantic on your TV stand. Without the second HDMI port, most likely, without, they'll still probably have a connectability.
I guess,
but
I never used it. I wish they would just get rid of it.
Exactly, in my opinion too. But if they're going, because there's talks that they're teaming up with Oculus heavily, so there might be a reason to have the Kinect still active in a way, or at least have the port there. So that'll be
maybe.
My God, what is happening? Wake up, Eric.
I gotta do the Y's for me.
I know. I'm just giving myself something to do, because obviously I'm not doing anything else. Yeah. So Crackdown is the one game that is going to make me eventually buy an Xbox One.
When is that game coming out?
I'm assuming it's going to be like, hey, we're announcing it, and here we go.
Yeah, there'll be
it's
something
releasing this fall. Because it's been teased enough. It was teased when they announced the Xbox One. We didn't get much of anything last year at E3, except for like, hey, playing on the cloud allows for destructible environments on multiplayer, which is pretty sweet. Mm-hmm. But, internet connection is going to depend on how choppy that's going to be. But that was last year's news about it. So I'm assuming this year the natural progression is it's coming out in October, November. At this point, in my opinion, it just has to be. It can't be 3. We can't be going on 4 years now for this freaking thing. It's not that to me.
We'll get an announcement at E3.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I can't. I would not expect it to be. Even I would have to be a fall, like, because that's the other thing is other than Titanfall, I don't feel like Microsoft has much going other than maybe Forza.
Some of the third parties, like obviously all the third parties.
Well, yeah, then we'll probably get.
But in terms of exclusives,
that's what I mean, right? So that's why I feel like Titanfall maybe they'll go to spring just to not entrench on Titanfall's deal, but. I feel like Titanfall and Crackdown are two very separate games. I have no health. I'm just getting knocked around here.
But you're level 1 weak.
That's fair. So I would assume that Titanfall and Crackdown will come out a month apart. Titanfall will come out in October to try and fight COD. because Infinity Ward, I'm sure wants to.
I don't
is
know
still slightly bitter about that.
I don't think Titanfall is going to come out this fall.
No, you think it's going to be a spring release or next year?
It'll be like next year fall, 2017.
Mm-hmm. You don't think they're that far in their development? They can pull it off?
I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think we're going to get it.
And that I mean, I guess because again, that's something that I've not paid attention to. So I would I mean, I could, and then that would make complete sense that Crackdown would be like now. Kind of idea, right? So that no, I can buy into that. That makes enough sense for me. If you think that Titanfall wouldn't be ready, that makes sense. But then that
could be, they haven't said anything.
No, and that's why we're playing this game of prediction, right?
Predictor cast.
Exactly. So that's pretty much Microsoft. Other than like I said, like the push on the Windows 10 and the interconnectivity between the Xbox, and they really want you to upgrade to Windows 10. Like hard.
They've pushed it to my computer. It did it automatically.
Exactly, right? Like there's a reason they want to, and I think it's because Microsoft is a brand, and it goes back to the newer, stronger consoles that we'll get in like 2 years, like next year. I think it all comes part and parcel in the same thing, is that Microsoft is just going to be at one point. Xbox is going to be known as just the table set, TV set version of your PC interconnectivity. Kind of idea. That's where they're going for, and I think if that's what they're like, they'll basically be a Steam box.
All in one.
Exactly, right? Literally the all in one that they had 4 years ago that they've screwed up so hard. Yeah. But because they're pushing it through the PC, I think it'll probably have some legs. Now, I don't know any of the inner workings about like DRM and stuff like that. They'll probably try in games with Windows Live, yada yada yada. But so don't quote me on anything, but I think it seems like they're thinking about it a bit better this time around. It seems like they're rolling it out in a proper way, but I don't really have much to go on when it comes to that, anyways. But I'm sure it makes sense, right? Like it has to make sense to connect your Microsoft account with your Microsoft account. I mean, there's really no way, and that's why they're releasing like bits and pieces of games on the PC. Like Horizon has that like half mode that they're releasing for free on PC. Halo 5 Forge is releasing on PC, just the Forge version, because they're trying to get people to get into Windows 10.
Yeah.
So there's a grander scheme here at play for Microsoft, and it'll be really interesting to see what actually comes of it, kind of idea in that breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. For people who've never played Crackdown, that's the thing, is that it's an older game that I don't know if like gameplay footage would truly exist of it. Like it's original it's release launch 360 stuff, right? So it'll be
like gameplay
of actual Crackdown.
Yeah,
like it's, like I'm sure there is, but it might be a bit harder to find, or people are doing it now.
Yeah, you should keep drafting.
Yeah, I think that's the right idea. Hey, sweet.
Yeah, this golden whale gives stuff. I'm gonna take the
bat. Cool. But yeah, so that's Microsoft. Like I said, I just don't know what else. Like I said, I think there are going to be more surprises than anything else. Like companies are withholding information specifically, and it's just going to be like, here's this kind of idea. I think it's going to be this kind of E3, which makes the press conferences super fun. Like if anybody watched E3 last year and watched Bethesda's press conference, like that was like so cool when they just said, hey, Fallout 4, 4 months from now, boom. Yeah. Like that's so neat. So I think that's the kind of stuff we're gonna get this year. It's gonna be, I think I wrote in my article where like E3 is going to become much more dependent on the press conferences, in that sense, where it's like we can announce something and be immediate about it.
Yeah.
Instead of press release, yada yada yada, hype this train up for a year, yada yada yada. And I think that's a really, like, as much as we've mentioned Watch Dogs 2 a lot.
Yeah.
There's still technically no information. Like, nothing's really been, like, exceptionally said about it.
Yeah, we'll get some news this E3, and hopefully it's not Aiden Pierce anymore. And
yeah, we went through that rigmarole already, but, like, I think Watch Dogs 2 is going to be a fall release.
Yeah,
kind of, I think that's what Ubisoft is angling for here, is that we're just going to do the exact same thing. We haven't said much about it. Like, even the press hasn't really gotten much about it. And then all of a sudden, hey, here we go. 4 months from now, get your non-Aiden Pierce fix, hopefully. And yeah, so it'll be like Ubisoft is another one. I don't know when South Park Fractured Butthole. There's not a comma in there, by the way. For effect.
Fractured but hole with a W.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And he's just it's South Park. Picture it. I'm assuming that that'll be that, and Watch Dogs are probably going to be their two major games this year.
We're going to be getting a new Assassin's Creed though this year too.
Sorry, not this year. It'll be next year, I think, at this point.
Or 2016. I thought
2017, right?
Oh yeah.
Right, because we got the British we got the British one, the French one this year, right? Unity? No, not Unity. Yes, Unity.
Syndicate.
That's
2015.
Thank you.
So 2016 will be Assassin's Creed-less.
Yes, exactly. But we will.
So you are right. Then we'll probably get a Watch Dogs. It'll be in November.
Yeah, and we'll get a teaser trailer for Assassins, but that's about as far as it's gonna go, and say coming 2017 kind of idea.
I don't think they're gonna do anything Assassin's Creed.
It'll be CG. It'll be like a small CG trailer. Say don't forget about it.
Don't forget there's a movie coming out this summer.
Oh, that too, right? Which, really, at this point, just hold on to the movie until 2017.
Here's an idea. Cancel the movie.
Well, there's that.
Because nobody wants to see that.
I mean, yeah, Michael Fassbender is not... I don't need to go see Michael Fassbender as...
The only way I would go see the Assassin's Creed movie if it turned out that Michael Fassbender was playing... It was Michael Fassbender as Magneto as an assassin.
Cross worlds? Yeah, that'd be funny. I could take that. But yeah, Assassin's Creed, you'll probably see just a Don't Forget About Us kind of CGI teaser trailer.
And I'm going to remind everyone, do forget about it.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, don't let Assassin's Creed be in your consciousness until summer of 2017. How about that?
HD remake of
Black Flag.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag. People are probably thinking, Travis, that's crazy. It just came out in 2013. I know.
That's the problem. HD remakes, we mentioned that about Rocksteady last time around with Batman.
There's that cool game I sent you guys the link of, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes, the Guerrilla Games Killzone people game.
Their first new
IP, right? Exactly, since Killzone. Yeah. And that's gonna be that game is gonna be front and center at the Sony press conference because it's first party.
Yeah.
Right.
And it looks super cool.
It looks super interesting. Not many people seem to know what the hell it is yet.
It says on the Wikipedia article that I read prior to this podcast.
That we all know how Wikipedia can be so factual.
Hey. It looks like it's going to be a blend of Assassin's Creed and Elder Scrolls.
Which, to me, that's marrying of two possibly solid worlds, right?
I know we were just ripping on Assassin's Creed.
No, but
it's just because Assassin's Creed is tired.
Exactly. It as a franchise is tired. Not necessarily the gameplay of it. To an extent.
To change gears here for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That Amsterdam 1666 game.
From the guy who left Ubisoft, who got fired from Ubisoft, who started his own
Assassin's
studio.
Creed clone.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Yeah.
But I also want to play that game because it looks really awesome.
It looks different, right? It's not the same world. That's the thing is copycat development can exist if the narrative is good.
Yeah.
Right? There's a time and place for everything. Battlefield and COD wouldn't exist and be successful if you want to argue the multiplayer is completely different, but that's not what I'm getting at, right? They're still first-person shooters in time periods of...
I think Battlefield will be big.
I think so. I just it's different.
It's got momentum right now, and they're gonna ride that momentum.
Yeah. I think so too. I just fear that, I think we mentioned on the last podcast, or maybe this was a separate conversation we had, is what does the multiplayer look like if you're doing with just old school World War I weapons and stuff, right? Are we riding horses all over the place?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
But
it worked for Metal Gear Solid
to an extent. But you're not. How do I that means, in my opinion, unless the horses are traveling at exceptional light speed, the maps in Battlefield 1 will have to be smaller.
Well, I mean,
obviously
the game is going to
It's gonna have.
It's gonna lend like it's gonna be designed around the things that it's making us do. Like
that's good. Yeah. No, absolutely. But that's what I mean. Is like, will they? And
well, by the same token, you have World War I tanks. Is there going to be trench warfare? Oh, yeah, we got a duel here. Yeah, you're totally losing, by the way. You didn't even scratch my armor.
Yeah, whatever. You're level 30.
So, but yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, tidbit, right up your alley. It's the same writer as Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, so it's not Obsidian, is it?
John Gonzalez.
Okay. But it's not an Obsidian game. Is he shit to Guerrilla?
He's a writer. And
gotcha.
Writes for games, and he's writing for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I mean, from my understanding and what you've told me,
the writing
New Vegas was a little bit different in terms of like it was more story heavy than other.
It had more involvement. Yeah. It wasn't just like how Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 are in very linear. Like this is the one problem we have. Let's go find
like Skyrim with like
the Greybeards and yada yada. Right, you follow the one clear path and that's it. Whereas with New Vegas, the factions that existed, unlike in Skyrim,
they should have the dinosaur riding in Battlefield 1. Throw everyone for a loop.
Just make it Far Cry Primal.
I want there to be a day that comes soon where like game developers have promoted this game like Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
And it's like, everyone's expecting like horses and it's Battlefield and there's going to be online multiplayer. But then when the game finally comes out, there will be no review copies, but it'll be an awesome game.
Yeah. They have quality.
Instead of horses, you're riding dinosaurs and like just
random
off the deep end.
Yeah. Like Far Cry Blood
Dragon. Like you could take over other players and be a spy on the other team.
Nice. Yeah. It just becomes a different thing than expectation levels, right? Because of the way they hyped it up, right? Yeah. And
so anyways, that was just my tangent because I'm riding a dinosaur.
Because you're riding a dinosaur and it's very appropriate.
More dinosaurs in games.
And I think there's something to be said, like that. I get that it's hard to pull off the whole prehistoric thing in a way without it sounding like Jurassic Park.
You haven't played Primal, eh?
No, and
that's a game I'm waiting where it's like come into EB Games and it's $10.99 or $9.99 for brand new copy.
I cannot agree
or
with you more.
New copy that we converted to use.
Well, yeah, feel the short. Yeah, no, it's that exact type of game. It's that there's not enough there of what I've seen and heard. When it gets to
its proper DLC price.
Exactly, because that's what it was. It was a glorified DLC. They picked one mechanic of the Far Cry
They're like, we're planning this DLC, but you know what? We could just make it a release.
And that's, I think that, now that I kind of like now that you mention it and I've started like hemming and hawing about it a bit more.
Here, do you want to turn with the dinosaur?
No, that's good. I need to practice on my feet here.
Now this is literally like the only time you're ever going to play this game.
Yeah, whatever. I need to at least save face here because I'm terrible.
I'm surprised it doesn't come for PS4, to be honest.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that. Like you said, it was PS3. Like, what happened there?
Well, I know Castle Crashers is what we're talking about now because we keep jumping from game to game here. But we're talking about Castle Crashers and how it was a Microsoft exclusive for a bit, and then it became like I don't know exactly how it worked. It came out. It was after a year. It was out, and so then I guess they were allowed to put it out on different systems.
Yeah,
they put it out for PS3.
Yeah. But now, because of the Xbox One move, there is a weird time, a more stringent exclusivity.
I don't know. Like, I'm shocked that it hasn't been.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, it would, like you say, this would be a game much like Rogue Galaxy or Rogue Legacy, for me. Like this would be a perfect like pick up and play game kind of idea.
Yeah. Sometimes when I don't know what I want to play, I just fire this up.
Exactly right. It's a perfect game for that, right? Yeah. And now I'm starting to think that Overwatch is going to be that game for me. Oh, I got an hour.
You got an hour. I'll
Boom.
play a couple matches.
Play a couple matches with. I'll just be a healer today. I'll just be that guy. And so to back it up, Primal, Far Cry Primal. I think Ubisoft's I don't want to say structure change up, but IP release schedule change up. I think forced Primal to be an actual release because they needed something to release.
They just needed one. Like Watch Dogs is still in the queue.
Exactly. No We're pushing Assassin's Creed back a year or something. We need to do something about this because. They released Blood Dragon as a DLC. This is not something foreign to them.
No.
Right? So this should have been Blood Dragon 2 Primal kind of idea. You know what I mean? Like, that's what this should have been. But I think it forced their hand a bit to make it, give them something to be steady kind of idea. To give them that release schedule continuity, if you want to call it that, whatever. But like, I think it was almost a victim of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would, like you say, I wouldn't be surprised if come next year or this, like Black Friday, that game will be $20, kind of idea.
And that's when I'll buy
it. And that's a perfect time to buy it, kind of idea. Absolutely. So I think Primal is just a victim of circumstance more than anything else, because that game does not lend itself to being a full release. From what I gather. From what I've read and seen, they took a mechanic from Far Cry 4 and 3, which is the crafting, and just basically built a whole game around it. At the end of the day, that's basically what it is. So to me, that's just not... Without making any kind of headway in other differences like Blood Dragon was. Kind of idea. So I think, So that's Ubisoft. I don't have much. EA's going to push Titanfall. They're going to push...
I think we're going to see an Elder Scrolls announcement.
This is where we differ. I think of all the things we've agreed upon, I think this is where we differ.
Well, this is the thing. Bethesda just punched out.
Well,
Bethesda punched Doom out for everyone to enjoy.
Hey.
No, they pushed Doom. That's just been out like a month now or whatever.
Yeah.
And Dishonored, there's going to be stuff about Dishonored.
Oh, Dishonored's... Yeah, this is the announcement. This is the announced
I think
time.
they're going to have something else, and I think it's going to be Elder Scrolls.
I think this is where like I said, this is where we differ. I think it's going to be Elder Scrolls, but it'll be Elder Scrolls Online. It'll be their first major expansion for it. I think we're still at least a year away from an announcement of an Elder Scrolls game.
No, it'll be 6 years soon since Skyrim.
Wow, it has... What?
5 years.
2011?
November
11.
Yeah. November this year will be 5 years of Skyrim.
Yeah.
And maybe you're right. They'll have something for Elder Scrolls Online, the new expansion.
Yeah.
But I also think
you think that doesn't it doesn't stop them from having the...
It'll be a preview of Elder Scrolls.
For 2017 or 2018?
Oh yeah, 2017.
Okay, so it'll be like in a year it'll come out. Okay. See, I don't have that much faith just because I think they're still pushing out DLC for
unless there's more like Fallout stuff that they have in the queue.
And that's the thing, right? Could be they increased the price of the season pass because they said we actually are going to make more DLC. Now, whether or not it's another big DLC like Far Harbor is, where it's like a whole new map and yada yada, that remains to be seen. So the fact that they're still promising more work on Fallout 4, I feel like maybe that we're a year away still. But no, not to say that they could pull off the exact same thing they did with Fallout 4 and say next year's E3 go, all right, coming in 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I just won gold, by the way. You'll have it in your hands in 4 months. Not to say that can't happen. I just think that this year, I think that at best, like you say, I think it's gonna be the Assassin's Creed thing where it's just gonna be like a very teaser trailer. But if they announce an expansion,
just generate some hype.
Exactly right. Just say like again, just one of those like, don't forget about us because we're gonna have something more for you next year, just like the Assassin's Creed kind of idea. Yeah. So I guess you're not wrong in saying that we're gonna see some Elder Scrolls stuff in a way based on what I just said. But I think that's best case scenario in my opinion. But hey, don't get me wrong. If that actually happens, I'm jumping out of my couch and you're gonna hear me as ecstatic as anybody else would be, kind of idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's another game that I can waste so much of my time on. Oh boy, God, the Elder Scrolls games. I tell you.
Other than that, I'm looking forward to Yooka-Laylee.
Okay, so are you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so again,
I'm a sucker. Like, I'm a sucker for platformers like that.
Yeah.
I miss
the days of
Banjo-Kazooie, like Jak and Daxter. Like, I really wish Naughty Dog. Even before we get like a Last of Us sequel, I'd like to see a next gen Jak and Daxter. Like they just did it with Ratchet and Clank, and they killed it.
They definitely
right. So I mean, it's time. But yeah, with Yooka-Laylee, it's by the guys who did Banjo-Kazooie.
Exactly, they're just their own studio now. Right? They kickstarted it, right?
Yeah. And it looks so good.
It does look interesting. I'll give you that. And that's just I don't have that affinity for those games just because that was not the era in which I lived.
100-point achievement I just got.
Sweet. For what? For surviving without
going through that without hitting it.
Freaking A.
Yeah.
More. It's like five extra cents to the credit. They should actually, Microsoft would be smart and they actually make it a running tally for like a month or so. You know how many people would like play for trophies? You know how many people would buy like old games?
We saw it every day. Or trophies and games.
Right, exactly. Like, imagine if they just said, okay, for the month of June, whatever you accumulate in gamer score counts as credit. Imagine that.
It would never happen.
No, but imagine that, because a lot, like, we know people who are trophy like fiends, but the regular persons
aren't. That's a way of
yeah. Well, yeah. You know what I mean? So like, it'd be interesting to see, like, they would sell a lot of potential digital and discount a bunch of their old 4-year-old games for like $20.
Yeah.
On digital only.
Sony could do something like, PlayStation Plus this month is gonna have this,
but with that,
get X amount of bronze trophies, you get this.
Exactly
also.
Right. Yeah.
Get this silver trophy or
pretty.
What are they? Yeah, silver.
Yeah, silver, gold, and then platinum. Yeah.
And like
that'd be so boss. I would be all about that.
You couldn't be like, here, we're gonna give you Far Cry Primal for free.
Well, no, but I mean,
if you get a platinum trophy, because at that point I would just play a Telltale game and.
Yeah, but I think exactly because for those who don't know, the Telltale games are finish the game and it's a platinum, which is why I keep meaning to finish the Game of Thrones game. Two of my five platinums come from finishing The Walking Dead Season 1 on PS3 and PS1.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree.
But yeah, Yooka-Laylee looks phenomenal. They should do... companies, developers should do more throwbacks to the platformer. Because it ebbs and flows, right? Like,
it does.
Right now, we're in like that throwback shooter phase where like ID Software is doing Doom.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're gonna get some other stuff that on the heels of how well Doom has done.
Yes, you're gonna see
we're gonna see other people like,
surge
me too.
Exactly. Yeah, you're definitely gonna see a surge of like, well, what franchise can we bring back?
Yeah. So I'm genuinely shocked, like, on the topic of Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah.
Going back to the Jak and Daxter thing.
Yeah.
I'm really shocked that Naughty Dog hasn't even like said anything about that franchise at all.
And maybe that's what they're waiting for. Like you say, Ratchet just came back. They just finished work on Uncharted 4. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's talks at their offices right now, like,
about
what now?
What's next, right? Like, because I think now that Uncharted's done, and basically the Last of Us team did Uncharted 4 after Amy Hennig left, that I would assume that talks are now okay. Like now that Uncharted 4 is released, what? Because
people might argue, like, well, I wish they would do a new IP then. If they're gonna do anything, do a new IP. But at the same time,
they
it's
don't
like
need to.
The last Jak and Daxter that was worth playing, in my opinion, was 3, and that was 2004.
Yeah, so
because there was that Lost Frontier one, and I just couldn't get into it.
No way. Okay.
Well, like 360 was out at that point. It was it was in the PS2's twilight.
Yeah.
No one, other than like super hardcore fans.
Yeah.
Played it.
Exactly. Yeah, and
you never played that series. Well, you never had a PS2.
Exactly right. That's the era of time that I missed, and that's the one regret I have about with my PS3, which I guess that nothing stops me.
Well, I honestly thought that we were gonna get a proper Jak and Daxter 4.
Gotcha. On PS3 or
when the HD remake came out.
Exactly, like Sly, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'd say that about Ratchet.
You know what? There was a new Sly.
Yeah, there was a Sly. Yeah, Thieves in Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was on PS3, right?
Yes.
I'm not dreaming.
No. That is still old. That is still where all those collections came from.
Yeah. So I'm really, really kind of surprised.
Yeah, and I think probably Last of Us took precedent, right? And then Uncharted 4 took precedent. So I think, like you say, like, it's a shame that they couldn't get it done, but maybe there is an argument there that's why it's next at this point.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it isn't.
No. This is pure speculatory work, like almost a wish list more than anything else. And speaking of Sony-ish, I mean, we're gonna get probably the hype video and release date for the first episode of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'd assume, because they've already announced that they're breaking that up into 3 different episodes because it's too much work, quote unquote, or more of a cash grab, quote unquote.
Well, no, but you say that, but they've gone and said like each episode is going to be like a full game.
Oh no, sorry, I don't mean to poo it in that way. I just mean like it's interesting that they're saying it's too much work to put it all in one game.
Right, like when it was too much work back in the PS1 days, and all they did was make multiple discs.
Exactly, right. Like game. we're in an era where storage space is not an issue. Like there should be no reason why you.
Well,
can't.
It is for external
hard drive. Well, there is, yes, but I mean, upgrade to a terabyte and call it a day. I mean, and I think with the new consoles, the newer, slimmer versions of the consoles, I think like it's gonna be 1 terabyte standard.
Well, you would hope.
Well,
what were they even thinking?
It was cheaper. That's all it was. That's all it was. But I think the consumer argument there is: did you want to pay $4.99 or $4.99? What was the release? Like $5.99 because we put a terabyte in, or you know what I mean? Like
Sony's problem all along, and this holds true for both the PSP and the Vita.
Yeah.
The Vita took a dump.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the Vita was a bad system. No.
I'm
saying that it didn't do as well because you'd buy this handheld console, which is phenomenal.
Amazing.
By the way.
Absolutely freaking amazing. As far as
prefer it almost to my 3DS.
Exactly.
Other than for some of like the Nintendo first party and virtual consoles.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
The screen was OLED, the original one at least. It looks sharp.
Yeah.
And it's a powerful system.
It really is. It can run PS4 games.
But Sony hamstrung it by saying, listen,
we're not going yet.
It doesn't come with any onboard memory.
Yeah.
What? Like, this giant bat we're fighting is Sony, and
it's just pooping out
dumps everywhere. in terms of like, you can buy Vita for $199.
Yeah, but you
also have to buy
$50 memory card, which is 8 gigs.
The one that was worth it, the 32 gig, was
$150.
$79.99. $99 when it first came out.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at, right? There was a big discrepancy there between cost and value.
Yeah. So what a joke.
Oh yeah, and that you're absolutely right.
So coming back, Sony should have just ate
all that. Yeah.
The cost. And so remember E3 2013, where like that whole thing where like Microsoft announced Xbox One was going to be $499, and then Sony announced second, and they basically
wiped the floor with them. Yeah.
Sony should have also went back and said, we're also gonna
make the Vita pack in.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
2 terabyte hard drive.
Oh yeah, just up it to the nth degree, right? Yeah. And keep the price point the same as the Xbox One.
$399.
Oh, keep that price point.
We're gonna eat the price point.
Gotcha.
For hard drives. Okay, this level's really
nice. It's really These guys are freaking insane.
This isn't even solve that problem. Anyways, what are we even talking about that we got to this
hard drive space, consoles, problems. We're going with the new consoles being they're going to be standard 1 terabyte because it has to be at this point.
It should have been standard.
It totally should have been
at launch.
And I think the only argument, and it's not one I'm making specifically, I think the only argument is there's a cost associated to that. Therefore, we have to make it up somehow. Okay, I think that's all. And with that said, it wouldn't like an extra $100 spending on a hard drive would not make every console increase by $100 either. Like that cost would be spread out amongst all the consumers, so you'd be able to eat $25-$50. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be cost prohibitive in that sense. But yeah, I think that was the argument probably is that 50 terabyte hard drives are easier and cheaper, or 500 gigabyte hard drives are cheaper. So we'll just put that in there. And obviously Microsoft followed suit, kind of idea. So it wasn't just Sony thinking that way. So Sony, we kind of talked about them. We want Jak and Daxter. We can't wait to see what Horizons is about. Final Fantasy VII, that's what we're talking about. How we got to the storage space stuff. It'll be interesting to see because Hitman's new model of the episodic stuff has actually done really well for it.
Have you been playing it?
No, but I understand that it's selling really well and is actually really good.
Okay.
So what they've done is instead of packing in like a full game with a bunch of levels with a story, I'm sure there's somewhat of a narrative tie-in, but at the end of the day, all they're doing is just, okay, this is your target, this is the level, this is your target, figure it out.
Yeah.
They just plop you into a scenario and kill this guy, that's your main target, kill him how you see fit. And Hitman being Hitman, obviously there is a multitude of ways of doing it. But they're just releasing basically episodic stuff, but they're not episodic because I don't think there's much of a narrative tying them together. So they're just saying, hey, $15 for this one, $15 for this one, $15 for this one. It's interesting that, and it's actually like striking, it seems like it's selling well, which is quite interesting because people crap on episodic stuff all the time. But I think because there's not a narrative tie-in, you're not waiting.
People need to get past the whole idea of like quote unquote cash grab.
Yeah.
And like that's the way games are going now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is
trickle down.
Some people won't necessarily buy a full-fledged $90 game anymore.
Exactly.
Because it's too pricey.
Exactly. And it's too pricey.
And instead, you know what? Like at your leisure.
Yeah.
You can buy the episodes to these games instead and play them rather than be out $90 now.
Be out $90 over a year and a half.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Which if anybody like you spread your wealth around and. Did I make it? Oh, he's gonna clear it. Oh, look at you. Hey, look, another achievement, Travis. Fling the night with maximum power. Hey,
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, so I think you're right. I just think that everything's happening very fast in that regard. Just like with the I don't know, can't remember if we actually mentioned it on the podcast, but it's a conversation we've been having back and forth lately with the PS4 Neo and the more powerful Xbox that are becoming in. We're in a generation now where this is going to be the last generation of video game consoles that I think, as we know it, as a video game.
As we know it, yeah.
Exactly. Whereas everything's going to be adaptive to the Apple model now, where it's iterative, small little upgrades. I mean, this first one's going to be a big jump as far as like processing capability and 4K and stuff like that. But after this one, not much going to happen. But the thing is,
I think the developers are going to suffer for it.
This change, yes. For sure. I think the next one over, not so much, right? Like everybody's gonna play that adaptive game, but I think this change around is gonna be a bit rough.
Like in terms of the games looking better, it's not gonna be a huge upscale. Let's just get that right out of the way.
No, yeah. Like unless
so
you have a 4K
in terms
TV,
of it being
an
upgrade, like the Xbox and PS4 that I have now don't output to 4K, but the new ones will.
Yeah.
It was like back in the day when you bought a 360, the original ones didn't have HDMI.
Right? That's a good. I never.
And then it iterated, and now
that's a good call.
Like, it did.
That's a good call.
I don't think it's not in terms of like they're putting a new graphics card in it, and suddenly Halo 6 is gonna have two versions, like the peasant version and then the new Xbox.
Yeah,
One
it's
version.
just more processing power.
It'll be like you buy Halo 6, and I'll play it on my Xbox One. But someone else who has a 4K TV, well, they'll play Halo 6 in 4K.
Exactly. And there's more processing power, not so much because of the games will be quote-unquote better, but it's to accommodate for, like, Sony's VR headset. And that's, like, it needs that power. It needs the power to do that. So in order to do that, you have to come up with a solution.
But again, the games aren't going to look any different or any better.
No, especially if you don't have a 4K TV, there's no point of you buying the new one.
That's right.
Right, exactly. And
it'll just be like, okay, well, Watch Dogs 2, I'm not saying that this is the case, but as an example, Watch Dogs 2, PS4, well, if you have the new PS4 Neo, you could play Watch Dogs 2
on 4K.
In 4K and with the VR.
Exactly.
Whereas I have the first gen PS4, I'm not doing anything VR with it.
Exactly. Yeah, because they're like as far as I know, like the current consoles aren't VR ready. Kind of idea, like they don't have enough output power to pull that off. So that's all it is, right? It's upgrading the current structure, but it's something that we're not used to because when we hear upgraded console, we think new generation, right?
Well, new chipsets, and it could very well be chipsets, but again, it's in
not.
Terms
it
of
doesn't
like,
change the game, the
that's
form
right.
in which we know it.
Xbox 360 went through a ton of different chipsets, but it was just like
to make it
more solid.
Exactly,
so you didn't get red rings.
Yeah, exactly. And just like Apple does their thing, it's just okay. How can we make this slightly more efficient or add a feature here and there? But at the end of the day, if you have a PlayStation 4 Neo and I don't, we are still playing online in the same game.
That's right.
End of story, right? So, like you said, that's where now Sony's making it a mandatory thing come September. If a game releases after September this year, that your game as best be compatible with both. So I think that's where, like you say, like the changeover is so quick that developers might have a hard time with that a bit, and that's where I think the developers are going to say, okay, we'll make it compatible, but really at the end of the day, we'll hit the benchmark and that's it, because we're not going to concentrate on that yet, because there's no install base yet.
Yeah.
We'll say it's able to put out in 4K, but sure, you need the console first.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no install base there yet, so it'll be this next bit won't be as bad, but I think like come springtime and when they're developing
you know what, like we just saw, Xbox One is getting a price drop.
Yeah. Yes, by the way, $299.
So after E3 and Sony does its Neo thing,
yeah,
you're gonna see the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah,
you'll see current console PS4 consoles get a price drop.
Yes, absolutely, without a doubt.
To get rid of all that old stuff, then it'll be strictly Neo.
And I think even like Sony has. Oh my god, Sony had there is technically already 2 versions. They're just not as pronounced. I think there's a new model of this, like the OG PS4.
OG.
Yeah, that actually is runs hotter, runs less hot and is quieter. Like that's model basically 1.5, basically, right?
Yeah. And I'm noticing too. I have we both have day one PS4s.
Yes.
I find some games are quiet. And
and some run super loud.
Doom is so loud, and the fan goes bonkers.
It just goes berserk, eh?
I'm shocked my system
hasn't imploded, eh?
Gone straight to hell.
Well, I thought there was actually something wrong with my console when I bought the show. It didn't want to run the game all of a sudden. It didn't want to install it. All sorts of problems with it. And I just had I restarted it 3-4 times. I unplugged it. I gave it 5 minutes of break. Bunch of stuff, and just all of a sudden it just kind of worked. So I'm like, okay. So I got scared.
I genuinely wouldn't be shocked if I lost my PS4 and had to get a new one.
And I think I feel the same way. And I don't think that's a shot at anything specifically. I just think that it runs.
It runs hot. One of those things where
efficiency isn't
hardware fails.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not that I wanted to. You better not.
No,
I'm looking at it.
Well, exactly. Give it the evil eye, and no, exactly right. And I think that's. I have the same fear. There's times every 3-4 weeks I sit and I go, you had better not, kind of idea, right? So yeah,
make a point of updating everything to the cloud.
Yeah. Oh, I think that was that same day when with the show. I was like, oh god, I started moving stuff around. Yeah. I started freaking out. I'm not losing those save files. Not much else as far as big companies go. Rockstar doesn't do anything at E3, so they do their own thing as we go. So, as an aside, and I put in my article that I'll probably post a few days after the podcast because there's no point, probably closer to E3 itself.
Yeah.
That I want a Red Dead 2. I totally want a Red Dead 2. They had better announced, but they're not. It's not going to happen at E3. So if Rockstar just does it on their own, they'll probably announce it some middle of the day in July when I'm golfing or something, and I'm not going to hear about it for 2 days. Kind of idea. So so that's one thing, and I think given Battleborn's price drop to $40 already, as we mentioned in the last podcast, how quickly the mighty have fallen, or I guess you can't really consider them mighty, seeing how they were never really strong. I bet you 2K goes hard on a Borderlands 3 announcement. They need to recoup some positive PR, and I think it's the only way they can do it.
Yeah, I bet you. I'd say the same thing. We'll see a Borderlands 3.
As much as Rockstar doesn't play the E3 game, 2K, who is the parent company, does. And Borderlands 3 is going just out of emergency situation. They need to announce a Borderlands 3. Whether it comes out this year or not, whether it's still in a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it is, even if it's a spring 2018 at this point, they need to do something to get that 2K fan base excited again, because I bet you they are crapping their pants. 2K is at the thought of losing.
Well, yeah, they're not even holding a candle to Overwatch.
It's not even funny. Like you say, the argument is that they're slightly different games, and they are, but it's not the same. It's the fact. What is this?
Cat battle.
Tiberius, come fight him.
Yeah.
So Borderlands 3 are bust for 2K.
Yeah.
I've started reading up. It's that time of year before E3, June-ish, before Madden comes out, so it steals all the thunder. NHL, EA, and NHL have started kind of trickling down their feature sets and stuff like that before Madden hits and takes away, and FIFA take away all the hype.
Yeah.
It looks promising, but as the last few years have taught me, just like with WWE 2K, don't get excited. Just don't buy into the hype. NHL has seems like they've that's like it seems like they say this every year, that they've tweaked the goalie physics more, they've tweaked the collision physics, yada yada yada. The same stuff that they say every year that seem to have some kind of change, but just never like properly correct. Just off a bit, because I think they have too much legacy code in their stuff to make it any better. But it seems like they're going hard on customization of the franchise mode. You could, like, if anybody who's played NBA 2K, they like you can apply to move a team's cities, and there's a plethora of cities with population base, fan support, mean income, yada yada. That will influence the board's decision to agree to that relocation or not. Sounds like they're putting that in.
Las Vegas.
Which actually we'll have a sports second. And speaking of that,
Black Knights.
The Black Knights is actually not a terrible name in my opinion. Which, by the way,
new favorite team.
It's. Oh, and
I'd go see them. It'd be cheap tickets.
And that's what I was gonna get at. That just is actually kind of where I was gonna go with all of this at some point. As you who have been to Vegas recently enough, as a visitor and not like as a one-time person who went to see a sporting event, right?
Yeah.
You went to see a NASCAR race and call it the outskirts of town, whatever you want, but like being in that city and knowing what that city is as far as like giveaways and stuff like that, do you think you would be able, like, Vegas won't sell out every night. It'll just be free tickets handed out at the casinos, right? Like,
you know what? No, I bet you it would be a sellout crowd.
Really? Yes, but of the hotels and casinos buying the tickets.
Well, not only that, like, let me qualify that with, we were there 2 years ago. Had the we might have even planned around when
the NASCAR
like
I know hockey.
No, like I know when it was like I know it's East and West and everything, but if the Habs were playing Vegas, we would plan a holiday around that.
Around that yeah.
And I know I don't know why we're trying to get on that.
I don't know. You seem to be trying to do it. I'm following your lead, jump.
So,
yeah.
People who are thinking are on the fence about like going to Vegas for a trip. Like we spent 8 days there.
Yeah.
And we didn't gamble once.
Exactly.
And we did not have a hard time filling our days.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's the misconception about Vegas,
like,
right? Yeah. Go see a Britney Spears concert.
The thing is,
whatever. Like,
200 miles up the road is Los Angeles.
Yes.
So there's probably people.
That's a good point.
Who go to see the Kings.
That's fair.
And
the Ducks,
now Las Vegas is getting its own team. There's people there who I'm sure are hockey fans. Like, it's big enough in the States.
For sure.
So, will they sell out every night? Well, I mean, the Ottawa Senators don't.
Well, that's a good point. I meant more like ticket availability.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's Vegas, so right away inside the arena is going to be a new casino.
I don't think there is actually. The arena is already built.
Okay, well, first of all, there's you throw a stone and you're.
Well, exactly. I think Caesar's Palace is literally right there, so I mean, I'm not gonna.
So that actually surprises me that there wouldn't be a casino.
No, I think that arena. Because I think that's a sports and gambling don't mix, quote unquote thing. Like the book bettors and stuff are all at Caesar's Palace. If you want to bet on sports, go there.
Maybe.
Kind of like I think that's a perception of sports thing.
Yeah.
More than anything else, you can't have that stuff in the building.
So, but I mean, you look at teams like. Again, like I know this is out east, Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Well, the Snowbirds
they travel right.
Are there, and the Leafs will go play Tampa Bay, and it's a sellout crowd.
Exactly,
because it's the Leafs.
Exactly. It just so happens that Tampa has the same color, so it looks like a home crowd.
So the same thing again for Las Vegas. Like
that's fair. That's a good point. It's a travel destination. Yeah,
it's a travel destination, and enough people are already there to begin with.
Yeah.
So some people will be like, well.
Let's go catch a game, right? Yeah.
Let's go watch a hockey game.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. He's an enemy, right? Oh, that was awkward. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Because I just not being there, I just always thought like again like the misconception of Vegas is not a town you go to for entertainment other than Britney Spears concert or gambling. You know what I mean? Like
no, like when we were there was a lot of people there for all kinds.
What have you, right? Yeah, or Sip to Sunday or whatever, right? Like so, no, okay, that's interesting to hear because guess what, people? After the playoffs are done, there's a board of governors meeting before the draft, June 22nd, I think, or it's actually the day before the award ceremony in Vegas. Go figure, because that's where it always is.
When does Vegas' teams start playing?
It'll be announced on June 22nd or 21st or 23rd, something like that, and they will start playing in the 2018-2019 year.
Okay. So not next year, the year after.
Exactly, because after this next season, that's when we're going to have the expansion draft. The expansion draft where teams will be allowed or forced to, depending on how good your roster is, to protect and expose players that Vegas team will be able to gobble up.
Connor McDavid leaves Edmonton like Gretzky, goes and plays for Vegas.
Sorry.
Boom, called it.
Not going to happen because of certain rules. Exempt from being protected or exposed are players who have only played 2 years or less in the league. So like Connor being exempt. So you don't have to, because what's going to happen is you're going to have like either 16 roster spots that you can 16 players you can protect. Mm-hmm. Or you could be like 6 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie kind of idea. It's going to be like very regimented. So what's going to happen is basically, then there's again those other rules like you can't have played more than 2 years or you're exempt from being protected, yada yada. So like guys like Gus Nyquist for the Red Wings will have to be protected now because he's going to be in his 3rd year in the year next year, fully, right? So he's going to have to take up a spot. Or a terrible defenseman like Jonathan Eriksson, who eats up $4 million of our cap space for absolutely nothing because Ken Holland's an idiot. We'll expose him in hopes that Vegas needs to reach that salary floor, the cap salary floor, that they see that player as a $4 million player good enough to take him off our hands.
Yeah.
He's going to be like one of the last ones picked, but it's still going to be like, it still might actually be worthwhile, or we hope that it is for them, to take him off our hands kind of idea.
Yeah.
Where like you're gonna get guys like a Gus Nyquist if he's exposed for whatever reason, that's a solid player you could put him. Tampa's a good example of that. Think of all the young guys they have right now playing, right? The Kucherovs, Tyler Johnson, yada yada yada, right?
Yeah.
Depending on where Stamkos goes, it's gonna be like, okay, well we can't keep all of them because we have to protect Hedman on the back end and Schuster and there you go. And, we have to protect some defensemen and a goalie, too, i.e. Ben Bishop. So there's a good chance that a good forward from that crop will actually have to leave. So that it creates at least a decent roster of players to build off of. But yeah, so that's... Vegas is going to happen. There's talk that it's going to be only Vegas as an expansion team. And,
Will that unbalance the conferences?
They're already unbalanced. They're 14 and 12 already. Or, however is it 30 teams. They're 16 and 14 already.
Okay.
Yeah, east to west. So this would only make 31 teams instead of 32. But the talk is that Carolina's in some serious trouble for some reason or another, the Hurricanes, where the adults kids of the owner are suing him for like $22 million because of like losses and stuff to the family like fortune because of the team.
Oh, wow.
So that's interesting enough, as far as the whole legal battle aspect of it. So
Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah, basically, right? Start usurping the owner of the team. So there's talk that maybe in a few years, if they can get out of that lease in the building, that becomes the new Quebec Nordiques kind of idea, because it's that kind of dire because of the legal battle.
You think they bring back the Nordiques?
Well, the building's already built.
Yeah.
Videotron, Centre Videotron is already built and ready to go. They're like, if expansion doesn't happen, they're the first team to be relocated. If a team goes south very quickly, kind of idea. So it's gonna happen. I hope it doesn't take like 6 years where the buildings all becomes like obsolete. You know what I mean? I'm saying obsolete in new arena terms, kind of idea.
The Sudbury Wolves can do it.
Oh,
in a 60-year-old or however old that arena is.
Good. That building is such a...
Hockey cast.
Yeah, hockey cast. So that was our hockey sports moment.
Go Sharks go.
Go Sharks go, and they're down 2-0. They say the series is never over until you lose at home, and they're going back home.
Yeah,
so
it's true. If they lose the next
if they lose one of the next two, it's over, right? So whereas a Game 7 can be a coin flip, so even if each team wins at home until Game 7...
I genuinely think it's going to go to a Game 7.
Oh, I hope so. I so hope so. I can't bat that away. That's a shame. I hope so, because San Jose and Joe Thornton deserve their moment in the sun.
That beard deserves it.
Oh my god, that beard is amazing. I can't stress enough how awesome that beard is. We're back up.
I don't know why I picked this level again. Sorry, viewership.
That's cool. We'll see how I feel like we're doing a bit better this time. Nope, we're not.
Yeah, we're doing alright.
Hey, did we get past the first one? The first instance of him? Sweet. Yeah. Friggin' A. But yeah, so San Jose Sharks, go Sharks. Do you have anything else you wanted to add to things, E3 or not?
Yeah, like Zelda.
No, yeah, that's right. Oh, Lord.
Zelda's pretty big.
Which is the only thing.
It's the only thing
Nintendo's bringing to the table.
So it'll be a pretty light backpack for them on that plane.
Except they're streaming Zelda for 8 hours instead of having a press conference.
What a waste of time.
I guarantee you right now, it'll be like an hour and a half on loop every like 2 hours.
Yeah, listen,
you know
there's
what
one thing I want to shout out about Zelda.
Yeah.
I saw on Facebook recently, a friend of a friend posted
Okay.
that he hopes Nintendo announces they cancel Zelda for Wii U.
Oh, okay.
And make it NX only.
Yeah. But
are you out of your mind?
Yeah, you don't know what the NX is.
Well, not only that, but it's like Wii U owners, especially myself, bought it day one.
Yeah. I bought it
and
2
really,
years later, yeah.
Other than like a few of the other cool sort of new, quote unquote, new experiences,
yeah.
i.e. like Zombie U. And,
exactly.
I'm not going to qualify why I called it a new experience. Because I'm making a point about Zelda. The only reason I buy Nintendo at this point is
Zelda.
For first party.
Exactly.
Zelda, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Mario, period. End of discussion.
Yeah, no, exactly.
If Nintendo turns around and does what this foolish person said on that I saw on Facebook,
that you came across,
that
let's
they
say,
can't, like, it'll never happen. But if they did say, oh yeah, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and cancel it for the Wii U, and you suckers can go ahead and buy
precedent.
an NX.
You stated the precedent already though with the Metroid Prime, right? Or I mean, was it ill thought of?
No, listen, like Metroid Prime 3 wasn't fully announced for the GameCube.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's a good point.
It was more
the
my understanding that it was just assumed
in the background,
okay, because the other two did, and
fair
it didn't.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, and this one is announced for the Wii U already. So to go back on that, right? Yeah.
But like the same thing, a comparison would be like, Halo 3. Let's pretend is coming out the tail end.
Yeah.
No, Halo 4. We're going to cancel Halo 4, and we're going to make it an Xbox One.
Yeah.
So all these people who are looking forward to, presumably even pre-ordered, because people still do that.
Exactly, right.
Now have to buy a new system for the game that they bought the system for to begin with.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we're going on... The Wii U came out, what, 2012?
A year before the other consoles?
So it's going to be year 4 of Wii U without a new Zelda.
Yeah, that's a shame.
And the last new Zelda that came out before that was 2011. So like, and we're not going to see this one until 2017.
Yeah, like
so that's going to be a huge gap.
There's a window there, right? Yeah, exactly. There's a huge window of nothingness there. Yeah. Not to mention that, other than Mario Maker, like Wii U's, even first party stuff hasn't been like 3D Land or 3D World is good, but like even the first party for the Wii U was a bit lacking, so to speak. Like we got Yoshi's Woolly World, and apparently Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was good, but it's not like I would love to go back and play. Maybe that's something I should do is go play that if I'm hearkening for another old school Donkey Kong rare.
Well, I think the Donkey Kong countries are on the eShop.
That's a good point. But yeah, like
I think the first and the third one. The second one would be on there too.
I'd assume Diddy Kong would be there, yeah. Because the third one was Diddy and Dixie, right?
The second one was Diddy and Dixie, and then...
Second one.
The first one was Donkey and Diddy, and then it was Diddy and Dixie, and then the last one
was go-kart racing.
Donkey Kong kart.
Yeah.
With an airplane. Anyway. But, yeah, I just wanted to give a shout-out to the stupid bullshit that I read on Facebook from other people whose ill-conceived opinions of, like, And the thing is, like, he hoped it was canceled for Wii U and made NX only.
And it's not like...
It's like, why?
And that's the thing, like, it can't be like and this is not a case of, like, fanboyism or anything of the sort, because the NX isn't even out yet.
No, it was just
a
dumb
dumb
opinion.
It was just a weird opinion of potential uninformity,
You say weird,
right?
I say it was stupid.
I always like to give the benefit, and again, I wasn't reading this comment, so I have
oh my god, I almost, it made my blood boil.
I can imagine. I could see how something that uninformed would...
Like, why in the world would you ever...
Wish that upon someone?
Wish that.
Even upon other people, right? Like, why can't you just have both? Right? What's the harm in that?
Why does it have to be on NX at all?
Exactly. On top of that, right? Yeah. Just release a Pokemon for the NX. We'll call it a day.
Well, that's the other thing, too. Like, Nintendo has all these franchises that they could do so much with. And it's like, okay, I get that Pokemon has its roots in handheld.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
All that stuff. But why can't we get a Skyrim-esque Pokemon game where your weapon is these Pokemon and it's huge open world?
Yeah. Hey, I'd be all for it. Now, with that said,
I'd buy that for days.
Oh, that would be the thought of just rocking around an open world with a Pikachu or a gigantic Charizard. You know what I mean? Like flying the Charizard around.
Or like have instances like Dark Souls where other players can invade your world, and that's how you like.
That's how you battle.
You battle them.
Yeah, the problem with that is Nintendo's online may be a problem there, but
you can't take that.
Yeah, there's no way I'm taking
You're too weak.
Yeah. That like you say, like there's so much, like it's not like they're above changing up the formula. See Mario Galaxy, see Sunshine, right? Especially with Mario, especially about changing up the formula to see what they can do with it. But I mean, Mario 64 is the perfect example of that, right? Like, they went completely off the board than what we already knew.
Yeah, like, what's next? Mario Universe?
Yeah. Right? So, it's not... It's interesting to think that...
Mario Lost in Space.
Lost in Space, yeah. It's just a dead space. Mario. It's just a survival horror game.
That comes back to what I was talking about earlier, where, like, they put something out that just messes with everyone's
Exactly, right? Yeah. Pique the interest of, like, complete...
Like,
insanity.
Mario and Luigi go through a warp pipe, and they come out on the other end aboard a derelict spaceship.
With his dead wife.
Now it's a horror game.
Where Mario's chasing a dead princess.
Luigi is brutally murdered in front of you, and Mario has to solve the... what's happening.
And it just turns out that Bowser, at the end of the game, we found out Bowser just gave him some acid or something.
just tripping balls.
Okay, so aside from that, Zelda and the whole streaming of 8 hours worth of Zelda, which I won't be 8 hours straight, I can guarantee you of that.
I'll check it out on YouTube later.
Exactly, that's an afterthought.
E3, I'm excited to see more Dishonored stuff because I feel like.
Hey, we're back. Yeah, I think you got. I always took, because we talked about it last week, I think, or last podcast. I think Dishonored is the almost guarantee at this point, so I kind of almost forget about it because I know it's gonna. Like I'm not looking forward to it because I'm not anticipating it because I know it's gonna be there. Kind of, like it's one of those things. I think.
No, I'm totes looking forward.
Oh no, absolutely. Like it's
Halo Wars 2.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
Speaking of which, also sideways prediction, probably the first. First built from the ground up game that will both release on the Xbox One and PC.
Yes.
Totally. Like that, if Halo Wars doesn't lend itself to playing on a PC, I don't know what will in Microsoft's eyes. You know what I mean?
And you know what? That's the perfect segue for them to push that.
Exactly, right? It's, hey, you can play it on either and play together. What the hell's the difference?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And I know Quantum Break released day one together, but it wasn't built from the ground up that way. They just kind of worked it in, kind of idea. So, like, this is, like, where it's going to be number one with a bullet kind of idea of this will be the first ever built multi-platform game for Microsoft's platforms, quote-unquote, if you want to consider Windows a platform. Bash it, take it all!
I'm buying potions, you should too.
Done. All the potions.
But yeah, no, Halo Wars looks really good. I hope they do right by the story, and because Halo.
Wait, there's a story?
Oh yeah.
Is it like StarCraft, like where there's an actual narrative?
Yeah, there's a whole campaign, and it lended itself to the whole
I didn't know that. I just
Halo lore, and how screwed up that is.
Well, go refer to podcast number 2 if you ever want to hear about that.
North of Nerd podcast number Do this again. No, I hope they do right by that story and sort of give us... hold on, I think I got...
The horn? Oh, that'll do it. Yeah, because there's a big horn in the wall.
Yeah. So there we go. And they continue on with that story because it didn't end on a cliffhanger, but it ended like... Spoiler alert if you haven't played a 7-year-old game.
Unconcluded? Well, yeah.
Well, like you were lost in space kind of thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so, I mean, there was hints at like in Halo Reach, the collector's edition came with a journal of Catherine Halsey, who created the Spartans, and there was like a footnote that like she had handwritten.
Yeah.
The name of the ship from Halo Wars with a question mark, like where is it?
Yeah.
Meaning like that far, like 20 years on, like because there's a 20-year gap between Halo Wars and like the original.
We're still the story is we're still looking for it.
Yeah. So like I hope it's a continuation of like what's it been doing.
Exactly. Yeah. What it's little escapades. Yeah.
And if we can get a sweet tie-in.
To Halo 6?
To Halo something.
That would happen. I mean, I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of tie-in.
Halo 5 is garbage.
Again, refer to podcast number 2 for any kind of detail there.
My complete thoughts on that.
I'll dub the hate cast for obvious reasons.
And I want to see more Mass Effect. I want to see what's up with that. Like,
because we mentioned
I get it's in the Andromeda Galaxy, but are we gonna get Garrus? Like that's my big concern.
Me too. Like without unless don't give me any crap about it being Garrus's brother or son or uncle. I don't want it. I want Garrus. I want Rex. Well,
that's the thing. Like at the end of 3, I haven't played it since the original.
Same. Since the first run, I haven't even seen the quote unquote new patched ending. I haven't even done that. No.
Yeah. So like, what planet did they land on? Are they in the Andromeda Galaxy? Is it Commander Shepard?
Exactly.
Or is it a new character?
And that goes back to what we kind of were talking about. I want to say the last podcast, or maybe it was just something where again side conversations that we have. Like when you told me, it got delayed. I'm like, it was supposed to come out. Like I was dumbfounded. I thought it was like a spring 2017, fall 2017 release. And when you told me it got delayed from this fall, I was like, well, I don't even know anything about it.
That's what I mean. So E3.
So to put again with a big exclamation asterisk, everything else in between, EA's big push will be Titanfall and Mass Effect.
Yeah. I mean, like, since Dragon Age Inquisition ended with the Trespasser DLC.
Okay. They haven't really...
Yeah,
they really haven't been busy, eh? Yeah.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
Other than Mass Effect.
Other than Mass Effect, right? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, and publishing Titanfall, because it's obviously not them doing it, right? I know it's BioWare, but like...
Titanfall's not BioWare?
No, sorry, like Mass Effect is BioWare, so I can't... It's the same thing as...
like E3 or
EA, right? So you know that they're the ones who are going to hold the water for... Like, it's their press conference that you're going to see Mass Effect at...
Yeah.
It's like you're going to get some Titanfall, but Microsoft's going to also push Titanfall, right? You're going to get a lot of cross stuff like that. Like,
it's coming to both platforms, so...
that's true. Yeah, but a lot of things do tend to... Like, COD is on Sony's dime now, right? So, ever since the generation changeover. So, it'll be interesting to see, like, which companies align with which ones. And EA being in Microsoft's back pocket as well.
Yeah.
Is obviously leaning towards that, despite being cross-platform. Mass Effect is going to be, like, as far as, like, actual news that we'll get from a game that I want to know more about, that I don't think is already coming out, that has to be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally has to be it. Like, and it better, or the delay is greater than...
I want to see something on that Amsterdam 1666
Yeah,
game.
I wonder who's going to...
We were talking about that before this podcast, how, like... What's that guy's name?
Decay, like DESQ, something like it's very French. Like I can't remember for the life of me right now.
I know he's working on something else right now, and he just got the rights back to that.
So there's a story there that's actually kind of funny. He got fired or left Ubisoft Montreal out of like spite. Went and started his own team.
Then he got bought back.
Then Ubisoft in a takeover bid ended up inheriting his company again, got put back into the team for Assassin's Creed, finally left again, or got fired this time.
Yeah.
And they started the new company,
but they kept the rights to this
Amsterdam game, but yet in his wrongful termination suit against Ubisoft,
he wanted his IP back.
Instead of getting like $400,000 in compensation, he said, "Give me my IP back." So that's how passionate this guy is about this project. So I can only...
I know we'll see something eventually. Yeah. But I want it now.
Exactly. It's one of those where it's like, give me more, please. Yeah.
And like, I like the setting and I like the time period.
Yeah.
And, if it's an Assassin's Creed clone, like, I don't even care.
If the story lends it's like I said, it's like we mentioned earlier, right? If the story lends itself, I'm all for it. But don't make it an Assassin's Creed clone. Like,
there's a new like gimmick that it's gonna have.
Yeah.
You can warg animals and stuff like Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And so like the one clip that they finally showed us, where he's flying around as an eagle.
Okay, so
like the character you play as is like a necromancer or something like that.
Something
like
along
he's a dark magician.
Exactly. Yeah.
He can warg into animals or take control of them, and then like the gameplay mechanics that way.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so
take over an eagle and fly around the city for like recon or like whatever. It looks really cool.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting.
I know there will be nothing at E3 about it, but I'm hoping that there is something.
And further to that, it'll be interesting who takes the mantle for it. Like, will it be Sony at Sony's press conference? You know what I mean? Like, because it is
who's gonna
indie,
publish that?
You know what I mean? Like, who will it be? So there's that interesting aspect of it. And it goes back to what I kind of want to see more out of Sony's press conference, other than Horizon and potentially, like you say, whatever Naughty Dog will be teasing, is, again, their continued push on indie. You know what I mean? Like, dedicate parts of your press conference, like you have for the last 2 years, to those indie people. Like, I will not be shocked if Pyre gets shown massively in Sony's press conference. The Pyre being the Supergiant Games developers who made Bastion and Transistor. Like, I would not be surprised to see Pyre being heavily pushed by Sony at their conference in their little indie section. And that comes back to, and I'm assuming, given Sony's penchant to push the indie, I'd assume that, especially with a big name like that and having that kind of clout within the industry, I would have to say that it'd be probably on Sony's press conference at some point, kind of idea. I think that Pyre thing was probably, like, I'm interested to see what Pyre is. I've heard talk about it, like I've read words about it, but it sounds like you almost need to see it to believe it, because it's like I've got a sports aspect of it, and it's like turn-based but not, and there's strategy involved. So it'll be really interesting to actually see in person, because even people, like even some games people who have like worked and like written about it have like said like, yeah, I needed to actually hold the controller in my hand. Like, even watching it on the screen wasn't enough. You needed to hold the controller and understand what you were doing in order to actually truly understand it. So I'm super jacked to see what that actually is. And I know I won't be touching the controller, but like, it'll be at least again giving me an idea of what in freaking hell that game is. Because it's almost like a basketball game, and I don't know, it's weird, but it's awesome all at the same time. It sounds like it anyways, and it's from a developer whom I trust pretty much inherent. Like,
Supergiant, you're a big fan of.
They've done nothing but good in my eyes.
Did you finish Bastion?
I have not. That's something that's part of the in which the list of games that I think I need to finish before the summer ends, kind of idea.
Yeah.
I think that's part of that. I want to play through Transistor again just to kind of get another feel for it.
Yeah.
With a Witness, I want to get back to.
I want to check out Firewatch, actually.
That looks
pretty. I heard a lot about it. And I didn't know. I heard about it, not a lot about it. I heard about it. Yeah. And I didn't know exactly what it was. But apparently it's like narrative driven. Yeah. And it looks really sharp.
It looks sharp. Like certain things you do matter. And there's actually another game that came out just
it's got an Alan Wake sort of feel to it.
In a weird, like that weird, like you don't know what's actually going on what's style.
The big mystery.
Exactly. So. And there's another game that just came out this week, Oxenfree.
Yeah, I've been seeing stuff.
Yeah.
About that.
I remember watching a quick look from Giant Bomb like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, like when it was on PC.
Yeah.
And it's. Speaking of narrative-driven, like decision-making, dealing in the supernatural, but you're not sure what you're doing and what is actually happening, that's a perfect game under that umbrella kind of idea. It's really well done. I suggest just look up Oxenfree Giant Bomb, and it'll give you a really good idea of what that game is truly about, because it's pretty sharp. It looks neat. again, it's like I think it's right now because it's on new release. It's $16.50 instead of $21 kind of idea.
Okay.
So it by all means, actually I meant to point that out, and it's a shame that I didn't point this out at the start of the. So hopefully you listen to the whole thing. Give us some feedback, because I know Travis and Mike are very familiar with me announcing game deals. Like, if I see a sale, I kind of announce it to the people who I know.
Throw it out to us.
Just not to say like buy this now, but just like FYI. Like, I don't know if you're. I don't know what your day-to-day life is. So like, I don't know if you've read this yet. So, and I don't know if that's even a game for you or if you were even interested in it. But it's on sale for $15 instead of $40. You know what I mean? Like, especially Far Cry 4, right? Yeah. Perfect example. It was on sale for $12.50 on Amazon last week. So I tend to kind of keep my eyes open thanks to the subreddit PS4 deals. Like, that's all. It's just on my homepage most of the time, and just a lot of them are American deals, but the Canadian ones do pop up a lot. So it's like, okay, cool. So at least I know. So let me know. Email us at northandnerd@gmail.com about if you want. Like, I can use the Twitter page as like, hey, FYI, Far Cry's on for $12.50 right now at Amazon.
Yeah, Twitter would be more.
Twitter would be obviously easier as well. Like we can find ways, but. And I'll start doing it and maybe get a reception, because I kind of put it at the end of the podcast here. But I'll maybe start doing it and get some feedback that way. And hope that something happens. Because I think we could all be better gamers if we all get... We're not paying...
Deals cast.
Hey, there you go. We all have a deals of the day. Yeah, because I think we'll all be better gamers if we're not spending full price on every game.
Oh, yeah.
Right? More games equal more fun. Equals more opportunity to talk about games.
Totally.
So, yeah, and I think that's a good way to leave off. Again,
actually,
nice. More.
I just want to apologize. I don't remember what episode it was. I think it was the last podcast where we were talking about Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
And how I said they would never bring Cold Hands to the show. Whoops.
Little editor's correction there.
Editor's correction. Oops.
Thankfully, nobody's emailed us about it.
Listen, I said it on the podcast. I hope that they do, and they did.
And it worked out.
I won't say any more than
what.
You know what? This season has been wild.
It's been different.
Well, the last season I think they dragged.
They did
like super dragged their feet.
I agree totally. Like, I was getting bored at that point,
because I think they were trying to give George R. R. Martin time to write the last book and get it out in time for this season.
Yeah,
and it's just like they can't wait anymore.
Exactly. Now they're like,
we're getting like spoiler overload.
Oh, this is just
Now, whether or not the things that have happened this season are going to be the same in the books, because the books are a little more involved.
Yeah.
But I'm just really shocked
that things are actually happening to the rate in which they are happening.
You know what? They brought back... Yeah. I'm not going to say like who he is or whatever.
Gotcha.
I mean...
Oh, so it's actually revealed that... Sorry, I haven't watched it yet, so...
I'll tell you when we're done recording.
Okay, fair enough. Gotcha.
We're going to watch the episode tonight.
Yeah.
But I had it spoiled for me.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're saying why we can bring it up. And
so,
it's not really that big
yeah, Cold Hands is back.
That's pretty...
Maybe they were listening to the podcast.
Well, hey!
Like, hey, we're going to bring this...
Quick edit. Just slap it in there.
And you know what? We are, in fact, developing a game.
We'll take that. You smartass.
Wishful thinking. Shadow of Mordor style.
Yeah, that'd be
really cool. I'd play that.
Exactly. With a Nemesis system in that world.
That's what I mean.
Oh, that'd be so fun, right? Like, because of the hierarchy, like, it's almost like you're playing Crusaders.
HBO,
games.
if you're listening.
Yeah.
Make this happen.
Make it happen. Make it happen, Gavin.
But yeah, we can leave off there. My apologies to people who thought,
that Cold Hands was never going to be a thing.
As if I'm an authority on what's going to happen in the show.
But you know. You damn well know. Like you said, within 2 weeks, Cold Hand shows up. You don't tell me you know. You were just leading people off the trail.
That's right. So, Game of Thrones spoiler cast, signing off.
I like how we put the spoiler at the end. That's a good idea. I like that. So if nobody listens to the end, screw you.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you haven't seen episode 6 yet, spoiler alert.
Alright everybody, that was it. Thanks a lot. We're going to hit the 2-hour mark by the time I sign off here. So thanks a lot for everything. Again, email us. Let us know. I know we have face-to-face conversations with a lot of people about what we talk about here. But we want to kind of bring that into the greater spectrum. Like, if I have to meet Andy at Costco to talk to him about it, email me. Send me a message on Facebook. That way we can get Jason involved in the conversation. We can get you know, a bunch of other people, Abby, whomever else, Greg, and whomever.
If we don't know you in real life and you're listening to this, like, don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Send us questions you maybe want our opinions on.
Exactly. Like that. Even if it is something dumb, like, what do you think of this mechanic? Because we haven't mentioned it, or maybe we kind of brushed over a topic too quickly. Because we only have like really Cole's notes of what we want to do here, so maybe we didn't cover something as much as you'd like us to. Let us know. We'll gladly talk. Obviously, we have no problem talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, the next episode I think will, like, depending on where it lands in terms of has E3 already happened. But within the next 2 episodes, we'll talk about what we saw at E3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What we're now newly excited about,
and what we're gravely disappointed in, i.e., Aiden Pierce being Watch Dogs 2.
Watch Dogs 2. Main character, cold hands.
He's just cross promotional, baby.
There we go.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Have a good day.